On today's episode, we are going to take a quick look at one of my favorite companies. This is one of my top 5 holdings in my portfolio, and that is Sea Limited. Currently traded under the New York Stock Exchange as ticker SE. It is up roughly 0.8% today as I am recording this episode, and that is because there's online reports that Sea Limited's e-commerce Shopee is entering Europe for the first time ever. It's entering Poland, and I want to say this is probably the first time I'm not too excited about the expansion. And we're going to take a quick look at why in today's episode. Let's get started. But before we go any further, guys, if this is your first time here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and let me know in the comments below, are you right now a shareholder of Sea Limited or are you waiting for a pullback? So let's get started. So like I mentioned, right, today there have been reports by Reuters that Sea Limited is preparing to launch in Poland. At the moment, there hasn't been any true announcements from the company, but we were here same time last week, I want to say, where Sea Limited had also kind of seen reports that they were expanding into India. First, let me say that I'm pretty excited about that India expansion. And the first reason is just because the way the company moves, right? It kind of builds this huge platform or this huge kind of user base in their gaming platform with Garena Free Fire. For example, here we can see in India, Garena Free Fire is their #1 grossing game, and it has been for numerous quarters right now. So Sea Limited is able, I want to say, to cross-sell their Shopee application. So they'll be like, hey, gamer, you are playing Free Fire. If you want some form of free skin or some in-game loot item, download our Shopee application right now and link the accounts and you'll be able to get some goodies, right? So it really drives users to kind of move into that Shopee application. And I think it's a great advertisement move. The reason I'm not too excited, I want to say, about this Poland move is if I'm taking a look at yesterday's September 6, 2021, their Google Play top downloaded apps and top grossing apps in the Google Play in Poland overall, I do not see Free Fire anywhere here. So this is definitely an interesting take. At the same time, right, these are still reports online right now. Companies hasn't really announced a confirmation on it. But to me, I'm wondering, hey, you guys have no Free Fire exposure right now. Why are you focusing in Poland first? There are some other countries in Europe. For example, here I have, this is not, I want to say, I think I have Spain here. Yeah, Spain right now is #7 for yesterday in top grossing. So why not start in some other type of market? Another thing that could be happening, though, is Garena or Shopee, I mean Sea Limited Shopee, they might be trying to expand into a lot of countries at once. So maybe the only one we're listening to right now is Poland, but who knows, there might be some other kind of action happening in other countries. Like I mentioned, to me, this Poland expansion, not the best moves. I'm pretty sure they have Free Fire exposure in some other European countries instead. But that's interesting for sure. I also wanted to take a quick look just to see the overall. Maybe Poland is one of the highest GDP countries in Europe. It's not, right? We have Germany, we have United Kingdom, France, Italy, Russia, Spain, Netherlands, way ahead of the list. So why were those not selected as some of the first players either, right? But before we go any further, guys, let's take a quick listen to today's sponsor, a great reason why I'm able to provide so much content to you guys for free. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You guys know I love finding new investing tools and resources to help me scout out new growth stocks. And right now I have a discount for one of my favorite services The Fool offers. Through The Motley Fool Stock Advisor services, you get access to a ton of expert stock picks. Every month you'll get 2 new picks that are aimed at growing your wealth and to help you realize your financial goals. Stock Advisor's average stock picks have done amazing returns. If growing your money is something you'd like to do more of this year, you can visit fool.com/Jose Najarro or click on the link below for access to my special offer and decide if the stock advisor is right for you. Thanks again to The Motley Fool, and now onto today's video. But again, this is leadership. They know they've done pretty well in Latin America. Still have plenty of competition, right? Just because they're entering this market doesn't mean they're gonna win this market. There's plenty of competitions in Europe right now. For example, here in Poland, Amazon has already entered with a local website this year, and they also have the biggest home e-commerce firm is Allegro, which is also ramping up in their overall growth in Poland. So very interesting. They have huge competitors at the moment. So definitely an interesting take. I want you guys to let me know, are you guys kind of excited about this Poland exposure? At the end of the day, I am excited about the exposure into Europe. I think it's a great move. I do want to say, in the short term of things, all these expansions into new countries is going to really widen the losses that this company is going to see. And I believe certain investors might not like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if the upcoming few quarters, as we continue to expand into new countries, like I mentioned, that loss continues to widen, and it might end up giving investors some form of buying opportunity in the future. At the moment, I have no intentions of selling any of my C Limited stock. This is one, I want to say this is probably my top 3 position at the moment. It is definitely fighting its place for top 2. At this moment, I personally would not buy a huge position in C Limited, but that's just my taste. I wouldn't mind going in with a small exposure and dollar cost average over time. That's how I would play C Limited. So take care, guys. Have a good night and see you next time.